Howdy, folks. Welcome to Sham and Covy's Emporium of Awesome. My name is Sham, I mean Sean.
My name is Covey, Corey. And today we're going to continue our Marvel retrospective series, and where we go through the Marvel Universe, the MCU, and we review the movies in order of release, starting at the very beginning. So if you haven't seen, you can go and check out on the channel. Iron Man and Iron Man 2 are up. We skipped the Hulk due to problems finding a place to watch it.
Legally.
And legally. And so today we will be reviewing Thor. So
Thor.
Thor, the fourth movie, and this movie it came out in 2011, and obviously Chris Hemsworth is playing Thor, and Tom Hiddleston is playing Loki. Those are the two main characters, I would say, and Natalie Portman plays Jane Foster. Um, so yeah, what did you think upon rewatching this movie?
It was okay. Like I wasn't like it's saying there's a lot of good new introducing new actors and things like that. And like I saying the story it's fine, but it like I don't know, like it was a good introduction also to Thor, but like I said, it wasn't anything crazy stuff or super exciting throughout the whole thing really. Like it was still a decent movie, but I wasn't like blown away about it or like, oh, that was super cool, things like that. I found stuff was kind of lacking in it overall.
Yeah, I think I would agree for the most part. I mean, there's a few parts that I'd honestly completely forgotten.
Oh yeah.
Like I all the entire thing with Thor going and the Warriors 3 and Loki and all of them and Sif going into the Frost Giant world and fighting that entire scene, I actually forgot
Really?
that even happened.
Oh
Like
really?
I knew the Frost Giants were there and I knew they attacked Asgard and I knew all of
Yeah.
that stuff, but and that Loki was a secret Frost Giant and all
Oh,
that. But spoilers, yeah. If you're worried about spoilers, don't watch these videos.
yeah, okay.
Um, but yeah, I just totally forgot that whole scene.
No,
Um,
yeah.
I think it's because every time it's on TV, I always tune in the part where they're in that little town being attacked by the destroyer.
Yeah, toward, yeah.
So I
Where
always forget like the first half.
he's already been banished and stuff like that already by that time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my dog goes crazy in the background. Good job, Rocket. So, but yeah, the Frost Giants. I mean, in all honesty, I found all the Frost Giant stuff pretty forgettable. Like it
Yeah,
was kind of cool the fights and stuff, but it was just like okay, meh. I mean,
yeah.
maybe it's from seeing like Infinity War and the massive fights and all the really cool bad guys and all the stuff in the future movies and later phases that yeah, it seemed a little bit lackluster looking
Like I say, the
watching it
fight
again.
scene there was okay. Like I say, it was cool. Also seeing Thor also kick butt and things like that, and seeing everybody do that. And also, I found that the CGI part of it also didn't hold up very well to it,
Yeah,
like the creature and things like that didn't hold up. Same with like a couple other parts in the movie, like Asgard and stuff like that. A few parts of it seemed dated. Like I could notice on stuff that it was kind of dated,
yeah,
but I think mainly also it was in there more so to do with Loki and giving him also a little bit of backstory where he came from and his motivations. That was why it was stuck in there so much, kind of thing.
yeah. Yeah, and there was a few other things in this movie that I like. So they introduced like
Bunch
a
of
few
characters.
characters, like a lot of characters, but I
Yep.
mean all of the Asgardians. I mean in future movies, we know that they have bigger parts and there's bigger lore behind it. You get a bit more explanation about like Odin and Frigga and all those characters get expanded on quite a bit. So it was nice as an introduction, and because there was so many Asgardians, it was hard to care about many of them. Like when for the first movie, I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, I forgot that guy was in this. Oh yeah, I forgot he was in this. Oh, I forgot about that. Even though they're
Yeah.
big actors like Rene Russo and Anthony Hopkins and stuff, like they're big actors, but it's like they don't really do anything. I mean, Odin kicks Thor out, but that's effectively it, and then he falls asleep.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, yeah, it was for what it was. It was pretty good. I mean, it introduced. I mean, if we talk about some of the like earthly characters, I mean, Natalie Portman, I've never really liked her character in this series, and
I
rewatching
don't.
it, I didn't really like her. She
I
was
don't
just
mind
kind of,
her.
I don't know,
Yeah.
I just found there wasn't, she was just kind of generic. Like, she was just, meh.
Yeah. Like I
I
said,
don't know.
I don't mind Natalie Portman in it. So after watching WandaVision, I don't mind the Darcy girl now. Whereas initially when
Yeah,
I watched, I hated her character. I just found her useless and annoying. But I know what that she actually is pretty smart, and after seeing that, I didn't mind her in this. What
yeah, yeah.
so
I agree. Actually, I found her funnier than I remember upon
mhm,
watching it. I think the first time I watched it, I didn't like her because she was in that sitcom on TV. I can't remember what it's called, where she was a
yeah,
waitress, and I hated
yeah,
that show so much. So seeing her in it just kind of was like all I could think of was that. But now
two
that's
broke
been
girls.
all two.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the one. I hated that
yeah, I did.
show, but watching this, I was just like, oh yeah, last thing I saw her in, like you just said, was WandaVision, and I liked her in that, so I think I liked her
Mhm,
a lot more.
yeah,
And I like the main scientist guy. He had a couple funny scenes. I can't
yeah. I
remember his
was
name now.
Professor S something. I don't remember.
Yeah, Eric something, but
Selvig.
Selvig,
Professor.
that's
Yeah.
him.
See, I was different with him. I remember initially also I thought he was fine also, but this one I found him kind of useless. Like he was just there to say that the Thor character was dangerous and don't go for no reason whatsoever. Other than like saying he just thinks that the Thor guy stuff, he's bad news, and even though he knows everything about all this lore, and so everything from a childhood, and he's not excited about it, he doesn't believe it, and everything like that, which I thought was weird. I didn't like. I don't know. I
Yeah,
didn't like his character this time around.
yeah, he was a little odd. And
He gets
then
better. I like him also going forward, and that from what I remember also from the other movies and things like that. I like him going forward, but this one also he was just kind of there and didn't do much, and yeah, I don't know.
yeah, and then they also do a little bit more with Shield. Agent Coulson's back, Clark
Yeah,
Gregg,
I
and
love,
then they
I love seeing.
introduce Hawkeye, although he's essentially a cameo and he's not called Hawkeye.
Yeah,
Or Agent Barton, he was just there, like I'm gonna shoot him with an arrow, and then he doesn't fight anybody or do anything. It was just kind of like a teaser, I suppose, that he exists in the universe. So at the time,
yeah,
it was a lot cooler. Now that rewatching it, I was just like, Hawkeye didn't do anything. He just stood there. Like he literally Thor is like tearing through this military base, beating up everybody, and Hawkeye's like, "Should I shoot him, sir? Nah, let's let him keep beating up our guys. I want to see how this
yeah.
plays out." It's like, well, if you want to see how this plays out, why, Agent Coulson, did you not just tell everybody else to also stand down? Like
Just
that,
let him.
at the first time I watched it, I was just like, yeah, he's fighting it. This time, I'm just like, it doesn't make sense. He's literally telling his best agent not to do anything and
Yeah,
interfere. But why doesn't he tell all the mooks not to interfere so he can just see what happens when Thor tries to grab the hammer?
maybe I don't know. Maybe he wants to see also if he can make it. Also, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, but either way, it was that whole scene was kind of good. I did like the whole kind of you're not worthy and then he becomes worthy, and the fight at the end with the destroyer machine was kind of cool. But again, the CGI was a little janky
Yeah,
on the machine, but it was okay. I don't know. But overall, yeah, compared to the first time I watched it, I didn't enjoy it as much. The first time
yeah,
I was skeptical that it was going to be really good because Thor has always been not one of my favorite characters in the comics. I
yeah,
always thought he was like a bit of a He-Man kind of character with the big winged helmets and the weird talking and stuff. So he never really stood out to me in the comics. But so
yeah,
going in, I was pleasantly surprised and I thought it was really cool, a good take on
yeah.
him and everything. But this time I was just kind of like, knowing he gets so much cooler in later movies.
Yeah.
This movie I was just kind of like, yeah, just kind of plodding along.
It'll be interesting to see the second one. What we feel about the second one also after going through it all and stuff. But like I said, I like the characters. Like I said, I liked Hemdall. I like seeing Hemdall and stuff. And
Yeah.
the Warrior Three were okay. Like they were the cast was all really good. Also, I liked them. I like seeing Sif and these kind of characters and stuff getting introduced and all that stuff for him. So
Yeah,
I
he was
liked
good.
also Thor. Also how it shows him being all that stuff like all boisterous and all that stuff and cocky and confident and stuff like that. It's interesting to see where he starts and also where he eventually gets to right now.
Yeah.
So I like that also because he's very cocky in this one also. He's like on the best also to do that. So it's interesting to see also do the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and like as far as a kind of part of the whole thing, the Infinity War saga,
Mm-hmm.
I think this movie is obviously a must watch because it introduces all those characters and he's a major character. He's one of the founding Avengers and everything.
And yeah,
And
it was
Loki
him
is
and Hemdall and things like, and the scientist guy and just people like that, right? Where they get more later on. Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff from this movie that kind of starts the ball rolling.
Hmm.
as far as all of that. They don't quite. I wouldn't say that this is integral to understanding in Infinity War specifically. Just that the characters are so important that you need to watch it. But it doesn't really. There's nothing in this I don't think that directly ties in Infinity War, because I think wasn't until after the first Avengers they really decided that that's where they were going.
Yeah, like I said,
Um,
this thing kind of gets a little bit more also up with the Tesseract, right? And so it kind of teases a little bit more with them going in and things for that, but that's about it. Like not much else.
yeah, and as far as an overall thing too, I was a little. And looking back, I'm kind of disappointed that they never really. I can't. Well, maybe in the second movie, I can't remember the second movie very much at all. But I
Yeah,
can't remember if they ever did anything or brought back or did anything with the Frost Giants again in the rest of the series. I don't think they ever did, and I feel like there might be something there that they would hopefully could bring
yeah,
back again.
yeah, I don't know if they did or not. So I know they put it in there a lot of stuff to like tear us of Loki not being part of the family type of thing, all that stuff, and being an outcast and never going to be king and things like that. That was kind of put the wedge there for his reasons on stuff for doing the things. So I don't know if they. I can't remember if they elaborated on that anymore in the second one of that. I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember almost anything in the second movie, so I'm actually looking forward to watching
But,
that one again, because I'm like, what the hell even happened in that? I don't know. I know there was Malekith, but I can barely remember him either. But anyways,
uh,
we'll get to that when we get to that one. Um, the last thing that I wanted to mention too when I was watching this one is the Warriors 3 and Sif.
yeah,
Um, I I didn't realize that they recast one of the Warriors 3 for the later movies. I did rewatching
Fandral,
this. I'm like, that wasn't the same guy. But
Fandral,
yeah, they recast. What's his name? The guy who played Shazam
Chuck.
and Chuck.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
they recast him in that role, but it's not him in this movie. So
I know. Yeah,
there's some other guy. I can't remember who he is, but the other two warriors I think stayed the same throughout the out.
yeah.
But yeah,
They
but
say,
for Sif, I remember being I really like Jamie Alexander as Sif and as an actress, and I
mm-hmm,
think she's got a big role coming up in the new Thor: Love and Thunder.
that'd be cool. That'd be
So
cool to see.
yeah, I know she's in it, and I'm pretty sure she has a pretty big role in that movie. So I'm looking forward to seeing her again, because I feel like, and again, I can't remember the second movie too much, but I feel like for most of the other movies, she didn't get the justice she deserves as a character, because she's really cool in the comics.
Yeah,
Anyways, so yeah, um, yeah, but overall, what do you think? Better or worse than the first time?
I think it's not as good as the first. Like the first time, also has the nostalgia, kind of like Iron Man one. Also, if you go in, also if you don't know what you're expecting, also if you don't have this big universe yet, and all that stuff, you're seeing these characters for the first time on the screen and things. So that has it also, but it's not as good the second time around. I find also I still enjoyed it. I still like it as a whole as a movie, but not as good as the first time, and not as good as Iron Man one or two.
Yeah, surprisingly, it used to be that I thought this was better than Iron Man 2. Upon rewatching, I would rank it lower now. So yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. It's not as good as the first time seeing it. So, but
like I said,
yeah,
it's still cool.
it's worth watching, and it's a good movie. But it's just
Yeah, like I said, I still
compared
like.
to the later stuff, like compared to Ragnarok, or like there's no comparison how good those two movies are.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, so that's Thor. Any final thoughts or anything?
I don't think so. I think we covered also everything else that I thought would. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Mhm.
that's it for this one then. So if you enjoyed this discussion on our Thor rewatch, like and subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments what you thought of Thor if you rewatched it recently. And join us next time when we will be diving into another one of the founding Avengers' first movies, Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yeah.
So look forward to that. All
Yeah.
right. Thanks, everybody.
Right.